Wow, there's a host of things. First of all, I would encourage people to start with themselves. Look at what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses. By way of weaknesses, they need to ensure that they have an understanding of what they are so they don't get them when they get into business, so to speak. Also, I'll ask them to look at what are their goals, what are they trying to achieve in getting into a business, what's important for them. I think it's really important that they have a good business plan and that they adhere to that and that they monitor that plan on a weekly, monthly, quarterly basis.
A really useful one is the one that's called Complete Business Reference Advisor, or COBRA, and that has a lot of fact sheets that help people to do things like write a business plan and find funding and look at things like HR, those sorts of topics.
The best tip you could have is just get as much free advice as you possibly can. There's so many opportunities to speak to people that are willing to give that advice for startups.
The challenge you have is that there's so much information out there, and that's where a coach comes in. A coach will help you fine-tune exactly what you're looking for and point you in the direction of things that suit you best.
Probably accountants, bank managers and the local support groups such as Chamber of Commerce and those kind of sectors, government. There's plenty of support out there.
But the biggest culture shock for me is I was responsible for everything. The look of my website, even down to the tiniest detail of what style font you have on your business card on your website, what logos you use, what shade of blue you use, everything was down to you.
I think that's what every entrepreneur needs, is to have that real great idea, to think differently, outside the box for an awful cliche.
My experience, I've run 2 or 3 different businesses now, and the difficulty I've always found is raising money, which is part of the reason that we started Crowdcube. And these days it's even more difficult to raise money with the banks not lending at all. So I think persevere, look for finance, and get your business going.
I suppose believing in yourself is something you've got to naturally do, because if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in your company, people will know, and your business, I don't think, will succeed.
But the most important thing is to actually put it into action, and I reckon only about 20% of people at this show today are going to actually go ahead and follow their dream. And the great thing is that they've taken action, but then the really bad thing is actually the stigma attached with failing. And if something isn't working, then just to ditch it.
Take what you do and do it really well. Just really try hard, put the energy into it. But also be enthusiastic with people. Don't just come on and say, I've got a service, it's quite vanilla, we can do this. Really, really try and sell it and really be confident in what you do.
Get a good group of people around you who you trust, who will give you good advice. Listen to their advice. Don't be afraid of taking difficult decisions.
I think that my advice is persevere. If you've got a great idea, stick with it, keep going. There's going to be lots of barriers in the way, there's going to be lots of obstacles, but if you keep going and overcome them, you're going to make a success of it. So I say persevere.
It's a guy called Robert Montalto. He was one of my first bosses. He was an amazing boss to me, and he is my sounding board, has always been throughout my life.
The great thing about these mentors is that they add some real balance, because you can sometimes be working so much in the business that you can't see an elephant in the room, you can't see what you're doing actually isn't adding any value, or perhaps you're just going down a completely wrong route and they've got the experience and the wisdom to see things differently.
I think look around your local community, see who's been successful, look at other successful business people who you can get advice from, people who have been there and done it before. I found somebody just like that in Exeter where we're from, and got a lot of really good advice.
You've got to, when you make that move, you have got to make it work. There's no two ways about it, so you've really got to dig deep, believe in yourself, and if you're not ready to do that, then don't quit your job.
Think about business as farming, not hunting. it's not about quick bucks, it's about growing it over a period of time.
I think use other people. Don't try to do everything on your own. Find partnerships, find other people who can complement your skills, and work with other people.
I'd say be critical and creative about what you're trying to do, and just relax and enjoy the ride. It's brilliant fun.